Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another episode of CSGO News. I hope you guys all enjoy. Long time no see on this channel, huh? It's been about 5 days, but I hope you guys all enjoy as per usual. I'm always a little bit more down to earth, a little bit more personal with you guys on this channel, but I do have to say, I know I say it every episode now, thank you guys so much. We're approaching 7,000 subscribers on the Esports News channel. I posted 5 CSGO videos in 5 days last week on the channel, and I love it. I literally wake up, I go to work, and I do CSGO videos over there. That channel will be linked down below if you want to see it. I do almost daily CSGO News videos there, and I honestly, you guys make my day. But I'm here now on this channel to break down some epic news out there, and of course the first of which I'm going to talk about the news story that's probably least important to all of you guys, but most important to me. But I feel like on this channel now I can be a lot more relaxed, right? I feel like if I cheer for a team, you guys watching are also going to cheer for them, and that is of course Ghost Gaming. Last week we saw them qualify for EPL, or they guaranteed their spot there because they have reached enough wins in ESL Pro League to make EPL finals, which is their first one ever. I talked about it on this, I think on the Esports News channel. They went 4-22 in ESL Pro League Season 6. They went 7-15 in ESL Pro League Season 7, and they are now in the EPL finals as of last week, 13-3. I'm not currently sure what they are right now for ESL Pro League Season 8, guys. That is incredible. Now, of course, that original roster only had Wardell, but still, 4-22, 7-15, 13-3, probably even better by now because I haven't checked in the last week or so, but that is outstanding. On top of that, as well, my boy Steel, guys, besides just looking like him, when he smiles and gets happy in CSGO clips, it makes me happy. They have now officially qualified for the Team Canada spot for WESG 2018, an $890,000 prize pool, guys. 32 teams from 32 countries do qualify, and the Canadian team this year will be the Ghost Gaming roster, and they did so in astounding fashion. They dominated all the qualifiers. There was not even competition, and they were expected to, of course, take that spot, and that will be actually in 2019. WSG is always a year ahead, or like a few months ahead, so it's actually WESG 2018, but it's competed in 2019, early 2019, and I'm sure that roster will stick together until then, or at least cross your fingers they do so. They have now qualified for that, guys. Ghost Gaming has now qualified for over $1 million plus in tournament prize pool earnings. That is prize pool wise. They haven't earned that much, but still, and it's amazing to see how far this team has come, and that makes me so excited. But I'm sure you guys were actually here for the drama. Of course, we had some big things happen over the weekend, including a lot of cheating out there, as well as a guy with big balls. See, I can say that on this channel. I can say a guy with big balls. I gotta watch when I say that on the Esports News channel. But anyway, that guy is actually Fixio. If you guys know Fixio back in the day, Match Fixed. The names just line up, they just work out, just like a lot of pro players have match fix. Like I just talked about Steel, one of my favorite players right now, playing for one of my favorite teams right now. He was given a lifetime ban for match fixing. So I want to say Fixio was taken to Twitter and actually apparently going to sue Valve. A lot of people out there responding with a lot of laughter, you're an idiot, you're crazy. I will stand with him on one point. I reached out to him on Twitter, hopefully going to get more response. As of right now, it's because of the Forsaken situation, because if you guys don't know, the Optic India situation with Forsaken, he was actually not given a VAC because he was not caught by VAC. So that's why he was not VAC banned by Valve. And so Fixio took to Twitter and said, oh, they can't ban these pro players because it looks bad for the game, which was a very, very stupid point. That's not why they didn't ban Forsaken. They didn't ban him because he wasn't caught with their VAC, Fixio, and I'm sure you know that. But he also took this to grounds to, of course, apparently start a lawsuit against Valve, which I can't see going very well. But again, like I said, I will stand with him on one point and one point only. That is the fact that Forsaken's current ban is 5 years. And they, for match fixing, have been banned for life from Valve-sanctioned events, that being majors, and I do find that heavily unfair. Now, we all know Forsaken's not going to be coming back to CSGO. He has no future in CSGO, but it does stand 5 years. When it comes to a guy like Steel, there will come a point in time where that 5 years, if he was given 5 years instead of life, will come into play. Now, will Steel still be playing two and a half years from now? Maybe, maybe not. Will he be playing at the major level? Maybe, maybe not. But it does come around to the point where you have a guy like Fixio who could be playing CSGO, after a 5-year deal. And if these guys, these match fixers, were given 5-year bans and not life bans, it would come into play. But he will be trying to sue Valve, apparently. Again, I reached out to him on Twitter to ask for more context as to what grounds he can stand on. Will he win this case? But the biggest story today, besides the next one that I think is a bigger story, but you guys are probably more interested in this one, that's all about Syman Gaming. If you guys have been watching the DreamHack Open DreamHack Open Qualifiers for DreamHack Winter. It's a premier event, part of the DreamHack series. Going to be a $100,000 prize pool, I do believe. But on top of that, though, we've had some crazy teams qualify for it so far. Bravado being one of them. It's kind of a smaller story, very, very quick for all of you guys. Bravado Gaming, if you guys do remember them, moving to America, I believe around a year ago to actually, of course, increase their skills in CSGO. This team has been on the rise ever since they got to America, and they've now qualified, I believe, for their first ever premier event. And if not their first, well, it's one of very few for them, and they did so over Ints Esports. That's KNG and Phelps' team, which is outstanding. Congratulations. If you guys are Bravado fans, I know some of you guys certainly are, that is absolutely insane. Congrats to them, guys. They have qualified for one of few, if not their first premier tournament, and they did so over Ints Esports, the team who was actually signed by Ints a few months ago because they had the ESL Pro League spot. They're not doing too well over there, but definitely they were the favorites against Bravado, and Bravado did take them down 2-0 sweep as well. On top of that, it's actually Existence Gaming also qualifying as well out of Europe, which is actually a pretty big surprise because that's the team who played with a cheater a few months ago. That's actually Adam. He was released from the roster and then sequentially banned from that team. And that's also the team that also beat Virtus Pro out of nowhere. So Existence also take their spot. They did so, though, in potentially a match that was thrown by Syman Gaming. If you guys don't know about Syman Gaming, well, I don't blame you, because before this weekend, no one had a clue who these guys were. They were probably, if you were to say there were tiers in CSGO, probably tier 4, probably tier 5. They really were beating no one, and then out of nowhere, guys, they beat Vitality in the open qualifiers for DreamHack. Then they go to the closed qualifiers, guys, after losing, I think they won 3 best of ones. One was against Team Vitality. Then they beat Space Soldiers. Then they beat AGO, and in the finals, allegedly throw that matchup against Existence. In the final map, they were in the lead 12-8. They lost that map 13-16. So they throw a bunch of rounds allegedly because they didn't want to go to LAN, because of course these were online qualifiers. If you go to LAN with a cheater, well, it might not work out so well, huh, Forsaken? But I do want to quickly clarify, these clips I'm going to show you guys on screen right now are not in any way, besides one of them, they're borderline fishy. They're definitely not incriminating, except for the one that looks just super suspicious. I mean, just right through the wall, you know, right Dan M style. But again, these clips are not incriminating. I do want to say, though, it's pretty obvious when not only organizations as well as pro players, we had AGO as well as Xantares also call them out. Now, of course, those are actually teams and players that this team actually played against and beat, so they have all the more right to call them out for it. But there's not many times at all in CSGO history that we see pro organizations as well as pro players call a team or a player out and well as have fishy clips, and that player is not cheating. So alongside that, apparently Xantares said that it's actually iDisbalance, one of the team members on that roster as well, apparently has a Faceit ban. So it does look very suspicious. And again, this team also allegedly threw in the finals to actually not go to LAN. The biggest controversy about this, though, is because they're online qualifiers. If this kind of thing is not closely watched, you have teams like Vitality, like Space Soldiers, and like AGO who had a very, very solid chance, especially teams like Space Soldiers and AGO who were even 1 or 2 wins away from qualifying for that one spot. You take away their chances because a cheater was actually allowed to play and actually possibly allowed to cheat in these open qualifiers, which of course is a pretty huge thing if it does turn out to be true. Now, even so, because they allowed them to play on, there is no way these matches will be played back, because you have so many teams who do not actually have to face the cheating team and they've already done their matchups. There's no way that all these matches are going to be played back all the way to the open qualifiers. It's just not going to happen. So you feel bad for teams like Vitality, Space Soldiers, AGO if it is true. But yeah, that was in some crazy news. We also have Syman Gaming posting to their Twitter saying once all allegations are clear, they want apologies from Xantares. So we'll see if that happens. And also, very lastly, no one's really talking about this. It hit the Reddit forums. I'll link the Reddit post down below because some of these messages were actually translated by the Redditor. So it's great. Thank you for them. It's crazy because we have so few people that I know that actually can translate this as well. But on top of that, it's actually Captain Mo responding as well. A huge response to match fixing allegations stemming back to 2015. If you guys know about this, I'm going to show you first of all the messages that actually came out apparently to blackmail the TyLoo roster. And I honestly, as far as I know, a lot of people on the Reddit forums and the post said, oh, respect to Captain Mo, man. He was blackmailed. Oh, good to go. I personally still think with these messages, though, that something might have gone on back in 2015. Is it that big of a deal? Do we know to what extent things went on? No, there's no clarification. So just to preface, he is innocent, and TyLoo is innocent until proven guilty. But I'll show you guys the original messages between, it's going to be Mo as well as a guy known as Meow. Meow, I think actually Mo released his real name as well. He is known in the Chinese scene to try and contact teams and fix matches. He is known to make money doing this kind of thing, and it goes to show you the extent to what the Chinese scene, how corrupted it truly is. Now, when you see those messages, though, there are certainly some parts that look as if Mo was somehow tied to these guys and actually placing bets of his own, also winning a certain number of rounds. It's hard because the context is so broad. You don't really know the context of this, but it did seem a bit fishy. But on top of that, we also had Captain Mo coming forward and saying those messages were released because he was being blackmailed to try and actually match fix for them. So again, I'm never going to know the full context and full details. Innocent until proven guilty. It's pretty much TLDR for all of you guys. Captain Mo then coming forward with another group of messages, guys, I'll show on screen for all of you, pretty much confirming that him and the TyLoo boys rejected Meow, or whatever his name's, offer to actually match fix. And this instantly just makes me think about how scary it would be to be a teenager in the Chinese scene. Back in 2015, a lot of these guys were in their younger 20s or in their late teens. It's got to be super scary to grow up in the Chinese scene, which we can't even imagine probably, and especially me, or maybe you guys who aren't even close to the pro scene really, being approached by possibly a Chinese mafia member and saying, hey, you better throw this game or we're going to do some stuff to your family or personal details. That has got to be absolutely terrifying. And we know this stuff goes on, right? With the Fierce Tigers, we knew there are subtle ties possibly to Chinese mafia. It kind of baffles me. We almost can't speak on it because we just don't know the direct context until these players come forward, and they're probably, a lot of them are too scared to come forward about all this Chinese stuff. We know the Asian scene has been heavily corrupted when it comes to throwing and match fixing, and we just never have known the full details because a lot of these guys just can't come out about it. So that's the Captain Mo story. Apparently TyLoo, all the way back from 2015, has been being approached to actually match fix, and as of right now, TyLoo has strongly urged their players to never get involved with that kind of stuff. On top of that, Captain Mo also reiterates as well, if you are a Chinese player and you get involved in match fixing, you will forever be irrelevant once you are caught. It's just not worth it for them. But that's going to do it for today's episode of CSGO News, guys. We got some big things coming soon tomorrow, but as always, I'm going to cover all that stuff first on the Esports News channel. But again, probably a big episode there tomorrow, another one back here as well. So hope you guys all enjoy. As always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoy. I've said that way too many times. I'm going to go. All right. See ya.